Hi, I'm Simon Hall, and I'm joined today by Keith Hackett, former head of PGMOL. And over the last few months, I've had the pleasure of working with Keith, and we've discussed many things to do with football and the game and various other things. Now, one of the big things is that I spoke to Keith about was the grassroots referees and the development of grassroots, and then all the way obviously through to the top, because there's things that I was taught. I had some brilliant mentors who are now on Football League, and things I was taught when I were coming through, we don't seem to be teaching anymore, and it seems to have got lost. Somewhere along the way, it's kind of got lost. Now, I've had the pleasure of watching my best friend's daughter referee her first game last week, so it's very recent. She surprised us all to say she would be a referee, and she's took the plunge and come to the referee family. And we stood and we were ready. And one of the first things I taught her was to check nets. Simple task of checking nets. And I went round and I showed her and explained why, because obviously dubious decisions come from nets not being checked. But no one's taught her that, and I'm wondering why aren't we teaching something so fundamental to stop something that's really going to ruin the confidence of a young official that's gone out. You would check the nets. Now, this is a real funny complaint to say, when you go out there, check the nets. There's also, what do you need? So I even got contacted, what do I need for refereeing? So me being me, thinking, well, watch, whistle, coin, red, yellow cards and book, some flags, especially when you first start. Why aren't we teaching these young referees? Because the numbers, the recruitment, no, sorry, wrong, the retention rate of these young referees is at the lowest. It's a really rock bottom figure of about 15%. So we're never going to get the knock on at the top end of numbers if they're leaving at that rate. So why aren't we giving them the basic, these are your first 6 games, these are the stuff you need to know, as well as the laws? Why don't we do it?
I don't know, because I think it's a massive shortfall that hopefully Keith, the referee, are going to cover over the coming months. Because, I've had the pleasure of creating, if you like, the Premier League when I was there, Premier Skills for referees. And that meant going overseas, all over the place, all over the world, taking groups of people who want to be referees to start them on the pathway. Some of those referees are now at FIFA level, which is quite remarkable, really. And I take no sort of account of the fact that my initial input had that, created that. It was down to their work ethic and their input, their own personal input. So for me, I think basics are absolutely important. We can talk about, for example, the whistle.
Yeah.
I used to get the referees standing around the centre circle, giving them their brand new whistle, and some of them, we had Acme, we had Balila, which is Italian, we had, of course, Fox 40 and various other whistles. They love the coloured whistles, I've got to tell you, the pinks, the blues, the yellows. And I'm a bit of an old fusspot, because I'm a traditionalist.
Yeah.
Anyhow, beside the point. And we would have them blowing the whistle. It's a foul, it's a heavy foul, a heavy challenge, it's a cautionable offence, foul,
all varying tones.
All variable tones. I speak at length about the monotony of blowing for everything.
Yeah.
Peep, 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 and getting boring. And that is a basic requirement of a referee. This is the tool.
Do you say you gave them the whistles?
Yes, the Premier League, Acme were brilliant. Fox 40 we used to purchase in and logo them up. And so here were kids coming, young people, women, girls, men, whatever age group, and they'd be coming out of the townships in Africa, Ethiopia, Botswana, and a whistle to them is another tune. It's another instrument, because they do it in the dancing in Johannesburg. so they can use the whistle to a different tone. But so we used to listen to them, and what was I've always found amazing was always every time we had the group together, the variable groups, you would get one or two who couldn't blow a whistle.
Yeah.
Couldn't actually blow it.
Yeah.
And so it's a basic requirement. If I tell you that it's the major selling tool of a referee,
It is.
you know, we take it too much for granted.
We do.
And often we don't talk to young referees about, you know, how to use a whistle. Sometimes I'm sat at the side of the pitch at Penistone Church, and by the way, I do see some excellent referees in the North East Counties. We've got some massive talent. When I say we, the North East Counties have got some massive talent, but I suspect that's down to Dave Morrell.
Yeah, no, he is good.
As a former Football League referee, assistant referee. And so as a consequence, I'm saying, I often make the comment to them, I have made the comment, look, I'd like you to hit the whistle a bit louder. Because remember, in a game that's being watched by spectators, the whistle's got to carry the full length of the pitch. It's not blown for you, it's blown for everybody.
Yeah.
The spectators.
Players tend to know. They tend to know the whistle's coming.
The first aspect of blowing a whistle is to stop. That's what it's there for.
It is.
And so I think that aspect, and I do think that these are the topics that we're going to discuss coming up. You know, because
Definitely.
I think we've got to cover those. We've got to cover hand signals. You know, often I see the referee correct decision, out goes the hand, arm, wrong angle, down by the side. Everybody's saying what's going off.
My favourite was the other one. The other week was the
oh yeah.
yeah, do I don't I, and everyone picks up on it. It's the correct decision.
Correct.
But everyone picks up on the hesitancy.
And that hesitancy, like your selling position, has dropped by 50% at least, because everybody's saying, oh, doubt. It's a little bit like, you know, I used to say to referees, so you're now, you've got a player injured and you're looking at that player, and how many times do you see a referee go right in, almost head, nose into the body of the player that's injured? And what you've done is you've actually forgotten the rest, the other 21 players. You've turned your back on the problem, so you come off a few yards and you can see it.
I can remember being pulled on that many years ago. Went straight in to check on the player and had 21 players behind my back, and anything could have been happening.
I smiled the other week because I watched the referee, and you've heard me say before that if you get caught ball watching, which is what spectators do, and it is something that a young referee does as well.
They do,
because he's watching the ball and it's all there. And you know, I used to do that, and I can remember George McCabe. I was at Norton Wood Seats, right. So I was getting on in my career in terms of where I'd reached, and George McCabe came in with Derek Dooley that particular Sunday morning. They were very complimentary, and then George McCabe said, "I've got one tip for you, Keith." And I went, "Oh, what's that, Mr. McCabe?" Because he was a FIFA referee, well-respected referee, and he goes, "The ball never commits an offence, Keith." And I go, "Pardon?" "The ball never commits an offence." What are you telling me? I'm telling you that you're ball watching. It's the players down below that commit the offences. We've heard it before, but it's a reminder, and needs to be a reminder for the young referee,
the young up and coming referee. And I think that's one of the things going forward, is if we can help anyone. You're very passionate about the development of referees.
Absolutely.
and us coming together the way they have with my education background it's key. And so over the next coming months we will produce different ones about not watching the ball up there but watching what goes on there, because the player's eyes will tell you where the ball is. You don't need to look.
Well, you know, Simon, it epitomises the fact that we do need to know, and referees at the very highest level, and I always used to say, get the basics right. It's the foundation of the performance. And that stems from one incident. I think it was 1970, World Cup final referee. I'm 10 years into my refereeing career. I'm sat watching TV. I'm looking forward to Jack Taylor, English referee, who I'd met once. I met him consequently afterwards, but met once. And I'm going, cracky, he's got the final. All the sort of parades and everything that goes off before these finals taking place. And all of a sudden the kickoff is being delayed, and I'm going, why is it being delayed? Jack Taylor, the referee, had recognised that a corner flag was missing and delayed the kickoff because basic law of the field of play
Yeah.
was not fulfilled. And that for me highlights, for then, the world's best referee,
Yeah.
and probably still figures in that top three of
he's
the
in
world's
there,
referee,
yeah.
has held the game up because there isn't a corner flag. And it can happen to you in Concord Park or anywhere on a Sunday morning.
Oh, it certainly does. So join us over the coming weeks, months, years, going through the grassroots development, and at the end of the day, if we can stop one referee from packing in and carrying on, then we know we're going in the right direction. Thank you.